Hello student, welcome you to Mohan Sir's classes. In this class we will learn the making of the Indian Constitution. The making of the Indian Constitution. This is the part 3 or the last part of this chapter. In this class we will discuss about the value and ideals of the Indian preamble. The values and ideal of the Indian preamble. Let us begin the class. 12.3 The values and ideals in the preamble. Let's read the paragraph. Our constitution begins with a preamble which although brief is very important. It says that the Constitution of India, the Constitution of India begins with a preamble. Begins with a preamble. What is preamble? It is our preliminary introduction to constitution. Understood? What is preamble? It is preliminary introduction to Indian constitution or any of the constitution. So what happened? Our constitution it begins with a preamble which although brief, that means it is very brief in the sense what? Very short, but it is very important. So, the Constitution of India begins with a preamble which is very short and very small, but it is very important. Next, it was Jawaharlal Nehru who introduced an objective resolution that shaped the preamble at the third session of the Constituent Assembly on October 13, 1946. So, this preamble was introduced by whom? Jawaharlal Nehru with an what? Objectives resolution. An objectives resolution. What is resolution? That means a meeting, a declaration. What? That shaped the preamble on the third session of the Constituent Assembly on October 13, 1946. That means the third Constituent Assembly was held on October 13, 1946. On that session, he introduced the Objectives Resolution. Who? Jawaharlal Nehru. This resolution discussed and passed on November 26, 1949. This resolution or this declaration, it was discussed and passed when? On November 26, 1949. 2 decades later, the preamble was amended on January 3rd, 1977 and add some important concept. Again, what happened? After 2 decades, in the sense after 20 years, the preamble of India, there was a changes. When? It was on January 3rd, 1977 and some important points were or concept were included. Understood? So, our Constitution of India begins with a preamble which is very brief and short, but it is very important. And this one was introduced by whom? By Jawaharlal Nehru, introduced with an objective resolution. So it was presented on the third session of the Constituent Assembly, that is on October 13, 1946. This resolution was discussed and passed on when? November 26, 1949. Again, what happened? After 2 decades, that means after 20 years, there were some changes on the preamble of India. That was on January 3rd, 1977, and there what happened? Some important concepts were included to the preamble of India. Look at this box. This is the preamble of India. So in this class, we are going to read the preamble of India and we are going to learn each word and each sentence one by one. So first of all, let us read the preamble of India. Preamble to the Constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this is the 6th day of November 1948. Do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So, this is the preamble of Indian Constitution. Look at your note. The word in white were added in 1977. From the above paragraph, I have told you that after the 2 decades, that means 20 years, there were some changes. So, which were? These were this socialist, secular, and the unity and integrity of the nations. This sentence or words were added in the year of 1977. So, in the following paragraph, we are going to discuss about this preamble of Indian Constitution, each word and sentence wise. Next paragraph, highlighting the importance of the preamble, Jawaharlal Nehru said, it is a resolution and yet it is something much more than a resolution. It is declaration, it is a firm resolve, it is a pledge and an undertaking, and it is for all, I hope, a dedication. That means when Jawaharlal Nehru he introduced this one, so he highlighted some point or important. He highlighted the importance of the preamble and he said that it is a resolution and it is something much more than a resolution. That means he says that it is a resolution or a declaration, but it is something more than a resolution or a declaration. You see the second sentence? It is a declaration. It's a resolution. In same time what happened? It is a declaration. It is a firm resolve. That means to solve the problem of the nation and to find the solution. It is a pledge. That means this preamble also what? It is the pledge for each and every citizens of India. And undertaking. It is also an what? Undertaking, or we can say agreement. And it is for all of us, I hope, a dedication. And he said that for all the citizens of India, it is what? A dedication also. So, Constituent Assembly, 13 December 1946. On 13 December 1946, he has declared this one. Next paragraph, it reflects the dreams and objective of the freedom movement. Which one? The preamble of India is what? Reflects of what? The dreams and objectives of freedom movements. The goals that people of the country are striving to achieve. It is also what? A goal that people of our country they are trying to achieve or trying to fulfill. Next, where they want to go. That means it is a destination for the people of India, that where they wanted to go and what kind of nation and state they hope to establish. And they also, it is also what kind of nations and state they wanted to establish. Understood? So what is preamble? It is a resolution, but it is what? Something much more than a resolution. It is a declaration, it is a pledge, it is an undertaking, and it is also what? A dedication to the people of India. So in this preamble of India, what happened? It reflects what? It reflects the dreams and objective of the freedom fighter. or the freedom movement? What was the dream and objective of the freedom movement? That is reflected where? In this preamble of India. Next, it is also what? The goals of the people, that what they want to achieve. That means the preamble of India, it says that okay, it is the goal and ambition of people, what they wanted to achieve or what they want to achieve. Next, it's also what? The preamble of India also what? It is the document which shows them or which prove that where they want to go. That means where the country has to be go. Next, through this the preamble of India, it gives the message that what kind of nations and state actually our country want and they wanted to establish. Values and ideals. Values and ideals. The text of the preamble is a synopsis of the values, ideals, aspirations, and feelings of the freedom fighters and the people of India. Expressing during the freedom struggle through the Indian Renaissance, Swadeshi, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, quit India, jungle satyagraha, eradication of caste system, women's rights, workers and peasant struggle, Azad Hind Army, and other social political movements. So, what does this paragraph says? The values and ideals. That means the text preamble is a synopsis. What is synopsis? A summary. It is a summary of what? The values, ideals, aspirations, and feelings of freedom fighter and the people of India. Listen carefully. The preamble is a synopsis, or it is a what? A summary. What summary? It is a summary of values, ideals, aspiration, and feelings of the whom? The freedom fighters and the people of India. Freedom fighters and the people of India. Expressing during the freedom struggle through the Indian Renaissance. That means this has been expressed when? During the freedom struggle. During the freedom struggle of India. And in the Swadeshi movement, in non-cooperation movement, in civil disobedience movement, quit India, jungle satyagraha, eradication of caste system, women's right, workers and peasant struggle, Azad Hind Army, and other social and political movements. So through this way they have expressed what they have expressed, their feelings. The people of India, through all this movement, they have expressed their feeling. So that is called what? Preamble. What is preamble? The text of the preamble is a synopsis of what? Values, ideas, aspiration, and feelings of freedom fighter and the people of India. Listen carefully. The preamble is a synopsis or a summary of what? The values, ideals, aspiration, and feelings of freedom fighter and the people of India. They express through different freedom struggle of India like Swadeshi, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, quit India, jungle satyagraha, eradication of caste system, women's rights, workers and peasant struggle, Azad Hind Army, and some other social and political movement. Through this movement, they have expressed their what? Values, ideas, and aspirations. Next sentence. It took inspiration from the revolution in Russia. That means the preamble of India. It has taken inspiration from where? From the revolution of Russia. What is that? Economic equality and justice. That means all the people of India has to get the equality in the economic and justice. Next, the preamble of India also what? Inspired by whom or inspiration from where? From the France. What is that? Liberty, equality, and fraternity. That means the preamble of India also what? Inspired by what? The France, like liberty, equality, fraternity. Next, it also what? Inspiration from American people. How? Political justice, freedom, individual freedom, and human dignity. So, the preamble of India also what? Inspiration from what? Russian Revolution, that is economic and social justice. Next, it is also what inspiration from the friends, that is liberty, equality and fraternity. It is also what inspiration from America, that is political justice, freedom, individual freedom and human dignity. So this is the values and ideals of the preamble of India. Let us try to understand these values and ideals. That means what the values and ideals we are going to discuss one by one. As we are see about this preamble of India, each word we are going to learn what is the meaning of each word, and we'll get the explanation of the each sentence from the following paragraph. Let us read the sentence. We, the people of India, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So, what does this sentence says that? We, the people of India, that means we people of India, do hereby adopt. That means we are adopting, enacting. That means we are implementing the rules or regulation and giving ourselves to the Constitution of India. Listen carefully. This phase means that the people of India have joined hands to write the constitution for all the free citizens of the country, and it was not given to them by any king, government, or foreign power. Hence, the people are the source of all authority. So, when we read the sentence or phrase, what was the phrase? We, the people of India, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So, the meaning of this phrase is that the people of India, they have joined the hands to write the constitution. Understood? The meaning of this phrase is that the people of India, they have joined hands to write the constitution. For whom? For all the citizens. Understood? For all the citizens of the country. And it was not given to them by any king. This constitution was not given to the people of India by any king, not by any government, or not by any foreign power. Understood? So the phrase, which is the phrase, we the people of India do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves to the constitution. This phrase means that the people of India, they have joined hands together to write the constitution for all the citizens of India, and this constitution or the preamble is not given to them by any king, nor any government, nor any foreign power. So because of that, what happened? The people are the source of all authority. That means all the power is in the hands of the people, or the people are the source of all the authority. The phases clarifies 3 points. From this above phase, which one? This phase, it clarified 3 points. What are that? First one, that the people of India established democracy with the constitution. Listen carefully. The above phase, this one, it clarifies 3 points. What is the first one? The people of India established democracy with the constitution. Second, that the creator of the constitution are the people, hence the constitution represents the will of people. It is the outcome of wishes of the people. So what does the second point says? That means the creator of the constitution is who? They are the people. Understood? Who are the creator? People are the creator of this constitution. And because of that, the constitution represents the will of people, the wishes or desire of people. Understood? People are the creator of the constitution. That's why the constitution what represent the will of people. It is the outcome of the wishes of the people, and this constitution is what? Outcome of the wishes of the people. Third, the ultimate sovereign power in democracy and constitution lies with the people. That means the power, the sovereign, that means almighty power, the power, sovereign power, or the most powerful, The power is in what? In a democracy, and the constitution is with the people. That means the power, democracy and the constitution, it is whom? It is with the people. Next sentence. In the words of Dr. Ambedkar, the preamble makes it clear that the source of the constitution is the people. Its inherent authority and sovereignty comes from the people. It is the people who enact, adopt and give themselves to the constitution. So according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he says that, or according to his words, the preamble makes it clear that what? The source of the constitution is the people. So who is the source of the constitution? People are the source of the constitution. Its inherent authority and sovereignty comes from the people. That means the authority and the sovereignty or power, it is coming from where? It is coming from the people only. Next, it is the people who enact, adapt and give themselves to the constitution. That means who? It is the people who enact. Enact means what? Implement or follow the rules. They adapt and give themselves or they submit themselves to whom? To the constitution. So understood? According to or in the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the preamble clearly states that the source of the constitution is people and all the power and authority comes from the people, and it is the people who enact, adapt and give themselves or submit themselves to the constitution. Sovereignty. Sovereign. Okay, what is sovereign? That means independent and supreme, which means that power and authority do not come from outside source such as foreign country. So what is the meaning of sovereign? Sovereign in the sense what? Independent and supreme. Sovereign means what? Independent and supreme. The actual means is that the power and authority of the constitution is not coming from the outside source. For example, not from the foreign country. Understood? What is sovereign? That means independent and supreme. That means the power and authority of constitution is not coming from the outside source such like foreign country. Next sentence. Within the country, the decision of the sovereign states are supreme because the people back this decision and accept them. So what does the sentence says? Within the country, the decision of the sovereign states are supreme. That means the state itself has the authority and power to take the decision, and that is the supreme. Why? Because the people back the decision and accept them. So who make the decision? People make the decisions and they accept them. Understood? Next, whether it is a foreign policy or internal policy, the people's rule is independent and self-determined. That means either it is a foreign policy or the internal policy. That means the rules of people are independent and self-determined. No other power can influence or intervene because India is a sovereign state. That means no other country, no other power or no king can influence or interfere in India. Because why? India is a sovereign state. That means independent and supreme country. This is an important word because it signifies India being freed from British rule. So this word is what? A very important word. Why? Because this word signifies that India is a country which is being freed from the British rule. So what we learn from this paragraph? That is sovereign. Sovereign means what? Independent and supreme. That means our country India is not ruled by any outside source or by any of the foreign country. That means within the country we make decision, and that is the supreme decision, and that decisions are made by the people and accepted by the people itself. Whether it is a foreign policy or internal policy, the rules of peoples are independent and self-determined. No outside force can influence or interfere in India. Why? Because India is a sovereign state. This word, which one? The sovereign word is important because it signifies that India is being freed from British rule. The next term is socialist. What is socialist? This concept was added in 1977. Which concept? The socialist concept was added to when? On the third session. When? After the 2 decades. That is in the 1977. It means that India will strive to eliminate social and economic inequality its citizens and that all resources will be used for the public good, not for any individual interest. So according to this term, it says that what is socialist? That means India will be eliminate social and economic inequality between the citizens. That means we know that within the country there is so much of inequality or partiality like economic and the social. So such kinds of inequality will be eradicated or removed from the society. Next, all the resources of the country will be used for the public benefit, not for any individual interest. Listen carefully. What is socialist? It means that the constitution will strive out or to eliminate or eradicate or remove what? Social and economic inequality from the people, and all the resources of the country will be used for the public benefit, not for any individual interest. Next term, secular. Next is secular. Listen carefully. The Indian state will not be governed by any religion or sect. Nor will it favor any religion or sect, nor will it discriminate against anyone on the basis of the religion. So what does this sentence says? Indian state will be not governed by any religion or sect. We know that earlier most of the country or the states were ruled or governed by what? Religious people, sect. But it is said that here, according to this term secular, Indian state will not govern by any of the religion or any of the sect. Sect in the same what? The head of the religion, we can say like a monk, priest, etc. And it also says that nor it will favor any religion or sect. That means the Indian state will be not support to any religion or sect. That means they will not be favor of any religion or sect, nor will it discriminate against anyone on the basis of religion. In same time, India will also what? Not discriminate or violate against anyone on the basis of religion. So what does this sentence says? That secular. Secular in the sense that the state India or the country India will not rule by any of the religion or religious sect, nor it will be favor to any religion or religious sect. Even it will not discriminate against anyone on the basis of religion. Next sentence, the Indian people believe in different religions and sects, and there are also many people who do not believe in any religion are atheist. So what happened? India is a country, we know that, multi-religious, multi-linguistic and multicultural country. So it is says that the people of India believe in different religions. People of India believe in different religions because we know that India is a multi-religious country. They believe in different religions and different sects. And there are also many people who do not believe in any religion. They are called what? Atheist. So there are some people, those who do not believe in any religion. They are called what? Atheist. The state will treat all equally. But what happened? State means what? The country India will treat everyone, either Hindu, Muslim, any religion, no problem. To everyone, the state will treat equally. With people being free to believe or not believe in a religion. That means people are free. Either they are believing in the Hindu God, they may believe. If they believe in Christian, they may believe. If they believe in Muslim, that is, they are free to believe in any God, or they are free to not believe in any God. Either they believe or not believe, that's not a matter. The state will also not normally interfere in the internal affairs of any religion, except in case where public peace and moral health are affected. That means the state will also what? Not interfere any of the internal affairs of any religion. Understood? The state will not interfere any of the internal affairs of any religion, except it is like there will be disturbance of like a public peace, moral health, is such kinds of things, then the state will interfere, otherwise the state will not interfere. For example, the state can enact laws to curb the practice of sati, human sacrifice, child marriage, etc. If such kinds of activities are there in any religion, then the state can act. So what you learn from this secular? That means according to secular, that means the state will not be governed or ruled by any of the religion or any of the religion sect. It will also what? Not favor a religion or any sect, or it will not discriminate anyone against anyone on the basis of religion. Next, India is a country, or in India the people believe in different religions and different sects, but sometimes there are some people, those who do not believe any of the God. So the state will treat everyone equally and to all the religion, and people are free to believe or accept any religion, or they are free to deny any religion. So the state will not interfere any of the internal religious affair, except it is disturbance for the public peace, moral and health effect. Example like sati pratha, human sacrifice, child marriage, if such kinds of activities are there, then only the state will interfere. Next paragraph. In the context of Indian society, secular also means that citizens of a multi-religious and multi-sect country should respect and tolerate all religions and sects. So, according to Indian society, the other meaning of secular is that means citizens of multi-religious and multi-sect country, because we know that India is a country which is having multi-religious and multi-sect country. So everyone should respect and tolerate all religions and all sects. That means as we are Indian, so we have to respect all religious, all sects, and we have to tolerate all religion and all sects. They should respect other religion and not show hatred for them while propagating their own religion or exploring any other religion. So we should not hate any other religion, especially when they are propagating. What is propagating? That means you are doing preaching or spreading their religion or exploring their religion. We should not hate. So according to the context of Indian society, the other means of secular is that in a multi-religious and multi-sect country, the citizens should be respect to all the religions and should tolerate all the religions and sect. They should respect other religion and should not hate other religion, especially while they are propagating or preaching their religion or exploring any other religion. The next term is democratic. It is a government system in which all power comes from the people. What is democratic? It is a government system. It is a government system in which all powers come from the people. That means democratic is a government system, and from what all the powers is come from the people only. They elect their representatives and fixed intervals through universal adult franchise, and these representatives are answerable to the people under the law. That means how the representatives are elected. We know that in democratic, representatives are elected through the people. How? Through the election, through the universal adult franchise. That means as you know that in India we have those who are above age of 18, they have the right or franchise that they would elect their representatives. And the representatives are what? They are to answer to the people under the law. Understood? Democratic is a system of government and all the powers come from the people, and these people, what happen, they elect their representative at a fixed interval through how, through an universal idle franchise, and the representatives are what, they are the people, they have to answer to the people under the law. Next, a multi-party system, law-based government, independent and unbiased judiciary, a neutral form to create public opinion, such as independent newspaper and TV channels are important components of democracy. So listen carefully. Democratic what? It is a multi-party system. It is what? Multi-party system. Next, it is law-based government. Democratic is law-based government. Next, democratic is what? Independent and unbiased judiciary. Democratic is independent and unbiased judiciary. Democratic is what? It is a neutral forms to create public opinion. That means democratic is a government system where public opinion is important. How? Example, you see that newspaper and TV channels are the important components of democracy. Newspaper and TV channels are important things or components of democracy. Hence, democracy is a system with people's participation in every fascist government administration. That's why, what is democracy? Democracy is a system of government where people participation is important for the administration or for governing the nation or state. So what is democratic? Democratic means it is a government system and the power comes from the people, and these people, they elect the representative through what? Through the election process, and the representatives are the people who are to be answerable to the people under the law. And democratic is what? It is a multi-party system, it is a law-based government, it is an independent and unbiased judiciary, it is what? Neutral forms to create public opinion. Example, it give what? Such as independent newspaper, TV channels are the important components of democracy. Because of that reason, or therefore, democracy is a system of people participation in every phase of government's administration. That means, that is why government is a democracy is a government system where people participation is most important for the administration. The next term is republic. In a republic, the head of the government, such as the president, is not a hereditary position but is chosen through an electoral process. So what is republic? In republic, the head of the government, such as president, so it is not hereditary. What is hereditary? That means like a genetic. Example, we know we have system, only the king's sons become king or president's sons become president. So it is not such like that. But how? It is chosen through an election process. Understood? In republic, the head of the government, or who is the head of the government, they are not the hereditary or by like a family wise there will be control or rule. Rather, what happen? This head of the government will be chosen through the electoral process. The president of India and Pakistan are elected, whereas Britain, Japan and many other countries, the heads of government is the hereditary and head of the royal families or dynasty. That means India and Pakistan, the presidents are elected through the election, but in Britain, Japan and any other country, the head of the government is what? It is not by election or people's election, but they are what? Hereditary. That means they are from the royal family. Only those family they can become what? The president of that country. Such countries have a constitution and democracy but are not republics. That means such kinds of countries, which country? Like Britain, Japan, they have the constitution but they are not the republic country. They are constitutional monarchies. Who? These head of this government, like a president of this Britain, Japan, they're what? Constitutional monarchies. What is monarchies? King. In a republic, the people's representatives, that the first citizens and the common citizens, are treated equally in the eyes of the law. That means in a republic country or republic nations, the people's representatives. Example, the first citizen. Who is the first citizens? The president is the first citizens. Even the first citizen and the common people, they treated equally in the eyes of the law. But where in the monarchy, the king hold a special position. But you talk about the other country or the monarchy system, king having the special position. So what you learn from this term republic? Republic, that means what? In a republic, the head of the government, such as president, they are chosen through the electoral process, not through the hereditary process. The president of India and Pakistan, they are elected through the election process, but other countries like Britain and Japan, the presidents are formed or elected through the what? Hereditary, that means from the family itself, royal family or royal dynasty. So such country, which country like Japan and Britain, they have the constitution, but the democracy, but the countries are not republic. Why? Because they have the constitutional monarchies. But in the republic, what happened? The people's representative. Who is the people's representatives? Example, the first citizen. Who is the first citizens? The president. The president and the common people, they treated equally. But when you talk about the monarchy, the kings and royal family, they have special position. Next paragraph. Our constitution declares the kind of state it wishes to establish, which is independent. That means sovereign. Listen, as we learned or read from the preamble that what kinds of state we want or what kind of nation we want to establish. So it says that our constitution or the preamble of India, it declares that what kind of states or nation we want to establish. Listen, what kind of state? First, it is independent. That means a sovereign state. We want an independent country in which all the resources are used for the general good and there is no inequality. That means in an independent state or sovereign state, all the resources of the country will be used for the general good or the public facility. There will be no inequality. That means what? It is we want a socialist country or socialist nation in which is not based on any religion. That means we want a country, it is not based on any religion. That means we want a secular nation. We want a secular nation. Next, where the government function according to the will of the people. That means we want a nation and state, the function of the government should be will of the people. That means we want a democratic nation. Where the head of the government is not dynastic, hereditary, but republic. That means the head of the government should not be hereditary. That means head of the royal family or any king. Rather, the representative should be what? Elected through the election process. It then goes to explain why we created this state to deliver justice, freedom and equality to all citizens and promote harmony and cooperation between all. Thereafter, the Constitution of India also what? It explained that why we created this state. That means why our country, our state is created for what? It created for delivering justice, freedom and equality to all citizens and to give harmony and cooperation between all the people. Understood? So, the Constitution of India declares that what kinds of states and nations we wanted to establish. What kinds of state or nation we want? We want an independent or a sovereign nations. We want a country what? Where all the resources should be used for the public benefit. That means we want a socialist. Okay. We want a sovereign. That means independent. we want a socialist nation, that means where all the resources will be used for the public benefit. Next, we want a secular, we want to establish a secular state, that means all the religions should be respected. Next, we want a democratic, that means the government will be according to the people. Next, we want a republic nation, or we want to establish a republic, that means the government should be by electoral process, not through the hereditary. So all these things explain. Thereafter, the Constitution of India also declares that, or explain that, why we created the state, like a to give justice, to give freedom and equality to all citizens, and to give harmony and cooperation to between all the people. Next term, social, economic and political justice. Social, economic and political justice. Justice means everyone's get the rights they are entitled, and any individual or government who violates these rights will be punished by the law. What is justice? Justice means everyone has to get their rights or the benefit which is given to them. Understood? What is justice? Everyone has to get their rights and benefit. If any person or any government violate these rights, they will be punished by the law. Understood? What is justice? Justice means what? Everyone has the rights. Okay, so they must get the rights and their benefit. If anyone is trying to violate, or any government is trying to violate these rights, they will be who? Either the individual or the government will be punished by the law. Next sentence. If anyone is denied their rights on the ground of their poverty, political views, caste, religion, or gender, it is the responsibility of the Republic to deliver these rights and to create the condition to prevent any violation of rights. That means anyone is not getting their rights, their rights, such as they're in poverty, through political views, in the caste, in the religion or gender. So it is the duty of the whom, or responsibility of the Republic government to provide them their right, or to make the condition to violate their rights. So what the sentence says that? This sentence says that if anyone's rights are violated, either it is in poverty, because of poverty, because of political views, because of caste, religion or gender, it is the responsibility of the Republic to deliver or to give them rights and to create the condition that those people should not be violated from their rights. So social, economic and political justice, what does it? It means that justice means everyone gets the rights and they are entitled to, and individuals or governments who violate these rights will be punished by the law. Next, anyone's rights are violated either because of poverty, political view, caste, religion, gender. So it is the duty of Republic to provide them the right and to create a condition that the rights should not be violated. Next sentence. Justice is linked to the concept of equality and equal opportunity. So justice is linked to where? The concept of equality and equal opportunities. It means more than just the legal justice obtained in the courts. That means we know that in court we get the legal justice. More than that, it is more than that. What? Because justice is linked to where? The concept of equality and equal opportunity. It is a philosophical concept that is difficult to define. What? This justice is a philosophical concept which is very difficult to define. There can be many views about what is right is, what rights a person should have, and who should be determine this right. So this justice has philosophical views and concept, that's why it is very difficult to define. So there can be many views about the right. There can be many views about the right. How? What rights a person should have. What rights a person should have, And who should determine this right? Who should determine these rights? New thinking on the concept of rights continues to emerge with the changing times. As the time is changing, the concept of rights also what? Changing times wise. Understood? As the situation and time is changing, automatically what happen? The concept of this right and justice also what? Changing according to time. That is why Republic is to expected to re-examine the concept of justice from the time to time when formulating its policy. So it is the duty of Republic that they are expected to what? Re-examine. They have to re-examine the concept of justice time to time as they are formulating or making the new policies. So in this paragraph it is stated that justice also link the concept of equality and equal opportunity. So it not only that it is this justice is more than a legal justice in the core. It is a philosophical concept and it is very difficult to define because there can be many views about what is right and what rights a person should have and who should determine the rights. So as the time and year is passing by, so new thinking and concept of rights are what? Emerging. So it is the duty of the Republic to re-examine the concept of rights according to time while they are formulating or making the new policies. Next paragraph, freedom of thought, expression, belief, religion and worship. What is the next term? Freedom of thought, expression, belief, religion and worship. Freedom means making your own decisions and living your life on your own terms without being bound by what others say or do. So what is the meaning of freedom? Freedom means what? Making your own decisions. Making your own decisions and living your own lifestyle according to you. And you are not bound by what others say or what others do. Understood? What is freedom? That means making your own decision, living your own life according to you is not, you are not bound by or you are not controlled by anybody or any person. All India citizens enjoy the freedom to think, formulate their own wishes, live according to their own thinking and to propagate their thoughts. What happened? In India, all the citizens enjoy the freedom to think. All the citizens enjoy what happened? They have the freedom to think. Even they have the freedom to formulate their own views. That means each or every citizens of India, they have the freedom to formulate their own views. Even they have the freedom to live according to their own thinking. That means as they wish, okay, they can live, and they also have freedom to propagate their thoughts. That means to preach or to share their thought. They have the right to accept and reject any belief. That means the people have the right to either accept or reject any belief, religion, method of worship. That means each and every person, they have the right to accept any religion or they have the right to reject any religion. So no one can compel that, okay, you should worship this god, that god, you believe this one, that one. So everyone has the freedom to either receive or reject any religion or any method of worship. There is no prohibition on how and in which form they express their view or how they act on their thoughts. That means there is no any prohibition or nobody can stop you that in which form they wanted to express their view or they want to act their thoughts. The only condition is that they do not violate the rights of other citizens or compel them in any way. So what is the condition then? Only one condition is that we should not violate the rights of others or we should not compel anyone in their deed. Understood? So freedom of thought, expression, belief, religion and worship. That means what? What is the meaning of freedom? That means we have our own decision and we can live our life according to we want. We should not be, or nobody can control us. In India, all the citizens, we enjoy the freedom of thinking, freedom of formulating our own views, and um, we can live according to our own thinking, and we can propagate our concept. And we have the freedom also to accept or reject any religion or any method of worship. There is no prohibition on how or which we want to express our view or we want to act our thoughts. Only the condition is that we should not violate others' right, or we should not compel others to act according to us. Next paragraph. Like justice, freedom is also a philosophical concept that cannot be fully defined in legal terms. As we discussed from the above paragraph that justice, it is a philosophical term and we can't define. Seems like that freedom also is a philosophical term and we can't define legally. Freedom also means that all individuals are capable and competent to make their own decision without being unduly influenced and pressurized by their family, society, elders, husband and wife, or government. So, what is the other means of freedom? That means all the individuals are capable and to competent to our own decision. That means each and individuals we have the what capability to take our own decision or to compete ourselves. So without force or influence or pressurized by any of the people. Example, family, society, elder, husband and wife, or government. That means nobody can pressurize or compel to do, because we have our own freedom for making decision to express our view or to live according to we want. Next, what it says, only when they think freely can people express and adopt their individuality. What happened? When they think freely, they can express and develop their individuality. But can such freedom be limited in any way? That means such kinds of freedom can be limited any way. If yes, then in what way and how? There can be many views on this. Also, our understanding of the concept of freedom evolves with the time. So, if you talk about that, can such freedom be limited in a way, or if yes, then what way or how? So, there can be many views because our understanding of the concept freedom is evolves with the time. So, in this paragraph, we learn that like justice, freedom also is a philosophical term. It can be defined legally. So freedom means what? Each and every individual we have the capability and we have competent to make our own decision without force or influence by any of the family members, society, elders, husband, wife, or government. So we can think freely and we can express and develop our individuality. Next terms, equality of status and opportunity. Equality of status and opportunity. Here we must note that the Constitution talks about two kinds of equality. The Constitution of India, it talks about two kinds of equality. What are that? Status and opportunity. Status and opportunity. In the Indian context, equality of status is in many ways. So if you talk about the context of India, the equality of status is many ways. How? A very important issues. It is a very important issues. From the time immemorial, patriarchy, caste system and feudalism have created gross inequality in the status and prestige in our society. Even to the extent of that some people are considered untouchable, with which deprives them of many rights. So what is this that? We must talk about what? The status or equality of status and opportunity. If we talk about the context of India, equality of status is in many ways. and it is what a very important issues. So if we talk about the time immemorial, that means we don't remember patriarch, caste system and feudalism, they have created what many inequality in the status and prestige in our society. Listen carefully. From the prehistoric time itself, patriarchy, caste system and feudal people, they have created inequality in the status and prestige in our society. Even to some extent, people are considered untouchable, with which deprives them many rights. In the some of the societies, some peoples are what they are counted as untouchable, and that's why they didn't get their rights. At the same time, some classes in our society have been given special privileges and rights, but you see in some other caste and classes what happen, people are given some special privilege and rights. In addition, many people who were loyal to the British government were awarded special status. In during this British rule, the many people those were loyal to British government given them many award and status. The Constitution seeks to eliminate these inequalities so that everyone can live the life they want to do, the work they want to. Understood? So our constitution, it wants to what remove all this inequality from the society. Our preamble of India or the constitution, it wanted to remove all this inequality from the society, that people can live according to their want or they can do what they want. It took two initiatives to achieve this. So to achieve this, what happened? It took two initiatives. So what to learn from this paragraph? That means our constitution, it has noted two important equality. What are that? Equality of status and equality of opportunity. If we talk about the context of India, the equality of status is in many ways and it is very important issues. So if we talk about the earlier time, like a patriarch, caste system and feudalism, they have created many inequality in our society in the what status and prestige. Even what happens, some people they are considered untouchable and that's why they did not get their rights. So at same time, there are some classes in the society which get many special privileges and rights. In addition or above that, there are some people those who are very loyal and faithful to British government. So British government given them special rights, award and special status. So now the Constitution of India want to what remove and eradicate all this inequality in the society and give everyone a freedom to live the life they want to live and to give them what they want to do. So it took two initiatives to achieve. So what are the two initiatives? Listen. First, everyone is given equal status before the law, where so whether they were kings or beggars, elite or outcast, female or male. So what is the first initiative? That in our country everyone was given equal status. Everyone was given equal status before the law. Either they were kings or beggars, allied means rich people or the outcast, they were male or female, everyone given equal status. Second thing, discrimination in public life on the basis of gender, caste, religion, language, etc. was banned, so that any citizen can aspire for any post, also use for all public facilities. That means what was the second initiative? That means discrimination in the public life. How? Sometimes we are treated or discriminated on the basis of our gender, our caste, religion, language. So everything was strictly banned, that any citizen can aspire for any post. That means any citizens or any student or any person can apply for any post for doing job, and they also can get all the public facilities. So these are the two what initiative has taken to maintain the status of India. Next paragraph. The constitution talks of equal opportunity for everyone. So above we talk about equal status. So next what? Equal opportunity for everyone. This means everyone will not have equal rights to aspire. this means what? Everyone will not have equal rights to aspire for any position, but will be also provide equal opportunity to acquire the required qualification. That means, what is the equal opportunity? That means that everyone will not be having equal rights to aspire any position. That means to be getting any position, example, become a teacher, to become an engineer, doctor. So everyone will have not have the equal rights or aspiration. How? But will also be provided equal opportunity to acquire the required qualification. People will given the what provide the required qualification, but for everyone the post or position will be not available. For example, if the qualification for the post judge are law degree and experience in legal practice, anyone who has this qualification can apply for the post. That means to become a judge or to become an advocate, what happen? We have to finish LLB or a law degree. In same time, there should be what? Experience in the law practice. So those who are having this qualification, they only can apply for the post. Also, no one can be prohibited from being obtaining a degree or practicing law in the court on the basis of gender, caste, religion, or language. What happened? It is says that no one can be prohibited from obtaining a law degree. But to get a law degree or to study that one, you will given the facilities. There will be no discrimination based on your gender, caste, religion, or language. For everyone, the degree or the for studying the degree, the chance will be given. But to get the position, only those who are having the degree and the experience, they will be given. That is called what? Equal opportunity. Understood? That means everyone will not have the equal rights and aspiration for any position, but everyone will be provided the opportunity to study or to acquire the qualification. For example, if a person wants to become a judge or advocate, he has to complete a law degree and he has to have the legal practice of legal experience. So then only he will get the job or the position. But everyone will be not given that post until a person has the such qualification. But to get that qualification, the facilities and opportunities will be given to you. There will be no discrimination based on gender, caste, religion, or language. Next paragraph. Like justice and freedom, equality too is a philosophical concept. As we talk about justice and freedom from the above paragraph, equality also what? It is also a philosophical concept. Every human being, whether woman or man, rich or poor, physical handicapped or not, young or elderly, of any religion, caste, region, gets equal respect and status as an individual. So, since like justice and freedom, equality also it is a physical concept. So, in this paragraph, it is says that every human being, either you are woman or man, either you are rich or poor, either you are physically handicapped or not, either you are a young person or you are elder, either you are from any religion, from any caste, any region, you will get the equal respect and equal status as an individual. Next, what needs to be appreciated is that the Constitution doesn't talk about the parity in everything. That means most noticeably economic equality. It talks only of equality of status and opportunity. So what needs to be appreciated is that for whom? To the Constitution, because it doesn't talk about in parity in everything. That means differentiating in everything. It talks only of what? Equality of status and opportunity. The Constitution is talk about equality of status and opportunity. Next term, dignity of individual and unity and integrity of the nations. Dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nations. The concept that we discussed earlier, for example, freedom of equality related to individuals. That means there are many concepts we discussed earlier. Let's talk on example of freedom. Freedom and equality. These two are what? Related to individuals. It is related to individual, to a particular person. That means this freedom, equality, justice is speak about a particular person. The Constitution now talks about unity, which is collective concept. Now we are going to discuss about unity. It is what? It is a collective concept. Unity means that free and equal individuals do not confront each other, but live together in harmony and mutual cooperation. What is the meaning of unity? That means free and individual person do not confront or challenge each other, rather we should live together with harmony and cooperation with each other, helping each other. We do not wish to create a society in which people make individualism their ideal thing and only of their own concern. So the Constitution of India do not or doesn't wish to create a society where people will make a individualism or people will believe what? A individual life or a separate life. Then what kind of they need? We want them to have a fraternal relationship and support each other to build a united nation. So our preamble and our country want a what? A fraternal, that means what? A brother relationship. We should support each other to build a united nations. But at the same time, it do not be a nation where the individual and individualism have no place, or where only the nation is considered to be supreme. Again, what happened? In the same time, it will not be a nation where individual and individualism has no place. That means if there is no place for the individual and individualism, then the nation is considered to be a supreme. Then what happened? It will be considered that the nation is the supreme. It will be a nation in which the dignity of the individual is respected and upheld. Then what happened? It will be a nation in which the dignity of the individual is respected and upheld. So in this paragraph we learn that the concept we discussed earlier, what about the freedom and equality, this is speaking about the individual. But the Constitution of India also talk about the unity. Unity in the sense what? It is a collective concept. Unity means that free and equal individual, that means individual person or personally we should not challenge each other or fight each other, rather we should live together with peaceful or with harmony. Next, our country do not want to create a society when individualism make individualism in the society, but we want to make a society where the fraternal relationship, that means a brotherhood relationship, and we should support each other to make or to build a united nations. But at the same time it says that it will not be a nation where there is no space for individual and individualism. So it will be a nation in which the dignity of individual is respect and upheld. That means in our nations there should be a respect and dignity for the individual also. The last paragraph, the preamble inscribe our constitutional values, which are the basis on which the government function and which every citizen must live up to and protect. That means whatever mentioned in the preamble of our constitution, the values and ideas, so which are the basis on which the government should function. That means according to the preamble of India constitution, the government should function and each and every citizen of India should live according to that and must protect the preamble of India. Understood? Whatever inscribed or mentioned in the preamble of Indian constitution, the values and ideals, according to that the government has to be functioned and managed, and all the citizens of India must follow the preamble and we should protect our nations. Hope all of you understood. Thank you.